Independence celebrations began. Borders reopening. Football donations made. This is Flipping Grand Bahama News this week, ending July 3rd, 2020. I am Haley Adderley saying Happy Independence to all of our American friends, especially those visiting. Thank you for joining us. Hello, July. This is the month in which we celebrate our independence from the British Empire and joining the Commonwealth countries. Senator Jasmine Darius gave us plans this week for this year's celebration in Grand Bahama.
As the country celebrates the 47th anniversary of its independence, a number of events are being planned, beginning today with the flag-raising ceremony at 9 a.m. Making the announcement this week was Senator Jasmine Darius, chairman of the Independence Committee.
This year's celebration is going to be a bit low-key, but nonetheless, we are still going to celebrate who we are as a people and how far we have come. On Friday, this Friday, we are celebrating our National Flag Raising Day. It will be Bahamian Pride Day, and so we want to encourage everyone on this Friday to wear your Bahamian colors, wear your Bahamian paraphernalia, put them on your cars, dress up your business establishments on this coming Friday. Even now as we're speaking, flags are going up all over Grand Bahama. So we are just encouraging people during this time to celebrate who we are as Bahamians. I want to advise that the events that are scheduled for this year's celebration will be a virtual one, more so than regular. It will be virtual, so we want to encourage you to tune into ZNS. We're going to have interviews, entertainment, skits. A lot of our Grand Bahamian local artists will also be performing, so we want you to be sure to tune in to ZNS because a lot of the celebration.
On Sunday, all churches are encouraged to bring a message based on this year's theme. Pastor Elvis Burrows, Vice President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, said they will be celebrating thanking God for His blessings on the Bahamas.
We in the Christian Council realize that the celebrations this time around may look different, but despite that, we in the Grand Bahama Christian Council want to use this Sunday, July 6th, as a special time to worship and to give God thanks for His goodness towards the Bahamas. We're also asking the churches on Grand Bahama, where possible, to decorate in some form or the other their place of worship and to wear their national colors and really celebrate through prayer, praise, and proclamation of the word.
As promised, the borders of the country were opened following the COVID-19 pandemic shutdown. Direct flights to Grand Bahama began today.
2 direct flights from Florida came to Grand Bahama as our borders opened on Thursday. Silver Airways came in around 2 p.m. and Bahamas Air a little later. The general manager for the Ministry of Tourism in Grand Bahama, Stephen Johnson, was excited about the day.
Right now, this is Silver. This is Silver's first official flight since the shutdown. And so we're excited. They're going to be coming in here daily into Grand Bahama for now once a day. Okay. And, Silver obviously has about 4 gateways. Fort Lauderdale being the main one. And we're excited because this is an avenue for bringing in people from Canada, connecting people from the U.S. and various different areas around. And so anytime a flight comes into the Grand Bahama, we should be thankful. And we are today because this is actually the second official open date that we're opening here. Right. So we're really excited about tourism getting back to normal here. And you're also expecting more airlift for Grand Bahama is what we need. And so we're just happy that the hotels are all compliant and opening. And I've done all the safety checks. We've trained tourism vendors, from taxi cab drivers to tourism vendors to anybody in the tourism industry. Most people have been trained. And we're doing additional training next week. We're doing training in West End. We're doing Holmes's Rock, and we're doing 8 Mile Rock because we have a lot of people in the tourism industry that are still not trained, and so we're taking training to them.
Excellent.
And this is all about within our strategy of the TRRC, which is the Tourism Readiness and Recovery Committee. It's a 150-page plan, and this is everybody being certified. You have to be certified in order to move these guests as a public service driver. You have to be certified, obviously, for the hotels, and as a vendor, they get certificates from their training. And so, we're really happy that we're open again for business.
Well, that's just air travels. However, Valeria has resumed trips to Grand Bahama this week during our first set of direct tourists and returning residents.
Also on Thursday, Valeria came in for the first time, bringing passengers from Florida. Speaking with the general manager for the Ministry of Tourism in Grand Bahama, Stephen Johnson, he expressed enthusiasm.
Valeria is coming in, and I've been told that everybody's being cleared in Bimini. So when they get off of the flight and get off of the port, when they go to Bimini, they don't have to clear the officials here in Grand Bahama, because they would have done all that check. This is what I've been told today, and I don't know if that's going to be the norm for right now, but they will be cleared in Bimini. So when they get here, they just have to come off of the boat, and they could go about their business.
Further asked about Grand Bahama being able to bounce back, he said,
like I say, we got all the hotels now. Most of the hotels have been cleared for certification. We have environmental health going through now, doing their final checks. And so, obviously, for the cruise ships, that's going to be delayed a little bit. But we're hoping a month or two that we're not going to be back to normal. Right. But we're hoping that we will at least start to see a bigger increase in business here. We have a lot of people calling us travel agents from Canada and the U.S. They want to come in themselves too. They heard that Grand Bahama has very little COVID cases, and so they're excited to come here. They don't want to go to Europe and all the other places around. And so we've done a really good job in keeping our rates low. We now have to make sure that we do all the things as Bahamians to make sure that we keep the visitors safe, and that we're also safe as well too.
During the opening of the Fishing Hole Causeway last week, the Prime Minister announced a number of projects for the island coming soon.
During the opening of the Fishing Hole Causeway, the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis, said he's pleased that we have the bridge, but added more projects are on the way for Grand Bahama.
Residents of Grand Bahama can look forward to even more capital works this year. Work continues to progress on the Rand Memorial Hospital, and we have allocated $21 million for improvement. And while here, I will tour the Rand facilities to ensure and convince myself that they are progressing speedily and in the right direction. $4.5 million of work is now proceeding on 15 government schools, which is one of the largest school restoration projects. We will continue the government small home repair program that has in 5 months approved approximately 2,000 residents and distributed over $3 million. The government has recently approved work on the McLean Town Administration Building and the Ministry of Agriculture building downtown Freeport. And the Ministry of Works will also commence a major renovation of the post office and commence a major road restoration project in East, Central, and West Grand Bahama. We are also committed to finding a long-term solution for the Grand Bahama International Airport.
We are taking a break, and when we return, we'll be back to the beach, virtual education, and sports.
Flipping Ground Bahama News is a Media Limited production. If you see news in the making, call us at 727-6909. Or if you want to advertise, call 439-2493. Our salesperson is waiting.
Welcome back. Residents are enjoying the freedom now regained since COVID-19, and some were more happy to return to the beaches on Monday.
Some residents are seen here enjoying our waters at Tano Beach on Monday afternoon, along with their children, a joy they've been looking forward to since the beginning of the shutdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It has been 3+ months since the shutdown began, which led to curfews and restrictions of movements in an effort to stop the spread of the dreaded disease. It has been about 2 months since any case had been found in Grand Bahama, and so the public is more than relieved to be able to be back in the sun and in our coveted waters.
Since the passage of Hurricane Dorian, Grand Bahama has been suffering without a proper hospital, as the Rand Memorial Hospital was severely damaged in the storm. A tour of the work going on with the rebuilding of the hospital was taken by the Prime Minister and the ministers last Friday.
Following the opening of the Fishing Hole Causeway, the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis, along with others, toured the hospital. As he said, he wanted to see the work and progress for himself.
Obviously, the pediatric section, the wards themselves, ICU sector, they're progressing, and that should be completed, I'm informed, in about 3 months. Obviously, I still have some concern with the maternity section being located somewhere else. That's at Sunrise Medical. It's essential to try mobilize them back into the mainstream institution. But I think looking at the amount of property here, we'd have to do proper surveys, analysis, and make determination as to whether or not, rather than moving to a greenfield site that is a new site, we can do the new hospital facility here on the existing facility. But we cannot continue to spread as we've done in the past. We have to go up as in Princess Margaret Hospital, the critical care block. So you'd have to go 3, 4, 5-story if necessary. Make sure you have adequate parking below so that should there be any type of flooding in the future, it would not interfere with the proper running of the facility. But I'm impressed that, and I'm pleased that it's moving in the right direction. And once we continue along this road and continue phase pattern, because you can't build a new hospital overnight, so that's to be phase-wise. And I'm impressed that in a few years, Grand Bahama will have a new facility. Of course, Grand Bahama had the most advanced operating theater within the Caribbean, inclusive of BMH. Now, BMH have overtaken them since we've developed the critical care block, but I'm certain that Grand Bahama will take that role again.
This coming Saturday, the people of West End will feel the love from Outreach Ministries, who are expected to be there giving away food.
According to a press invite, the Reach Out Feeding Grand Bahama will be distributing grocery bags to the residents of West End and Bootle Bay on Saturday, beginning at 11 a.m. Following the passage of Hurricane Dorian, this ministry, which is known for its community giving, ramped up the works along with the NGOs that came in to assist the island. With the COVID-19 pandemic, their hands were tied, but as soon as they were able, they were back on the road with assistance from others, giving food to the needy. Almost every week, they've held giveaways.
Schools may be coming to an end for the summer, but the Ministry of Education recently put out a video to explain how learning virtually can help our students.
According to the latest emergency powers order, preschools and private daycare are being allowed to reopen as of July 16th. The National Education Review is continuing with lessons on television for a number of islands. This was recently announced by the Ministry of Education, as well as the class of 2020 National Virtual High School graduation, which is set for Tuesday, July 7th at 8 p.m. However, for some, summer school will be taking place virtually, so a video was created. to assist.
I am so happy for the Bahamas Virtual Learning website. Even though I cannot go to school, my learning does not have to stop. Every morning, I go to ministryofeducation.com and click on the Virtual Learning Portal button. Next, I select my grade level. This learning schedule outlines my entire week. I navigate to the appropriate date. I always check the time to make sure that I am never late for classes.
We are taking a break, and when we return, we will talk national, regional, and Money Minute.
Flipping Grand Bahama News is a Media Limited production. If you see news in the making, call us at 727-6909. Or if you want to advertise, call 439-2493. Our salesperson is waiting.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health held a press conference last evening with an update on the COVID-19 pandemic in the country.
During the press conference held by the head of the task force, Dr. Marcelin Dahl-Regis, she said that there were no new cases of COVID-19 in the country in 18 days. She then noted that the total number of confirmed cases in the country to date had been 104. At present, there are 4 active cases and no one hospitalized. Overall, we have seen 11 deaths, and to date, 2,428 persons have been tested. She says they are pleased with the recovery rate. However, she warned that the pandemic is not over and we must remain vigilant.
We must maintain the containment of COVID-19 and minimize the risk of importation of the virus as we reopen our international borders, our economy, and begin to return to a sense of normalcy. To do this, it is imperative that all residents continue to follow health guidelines. That means wear your mask, wash your hands thoroughly and often, practice physical distancing of at least 6 feet, and please stay at home, particularly if you're not feeling well. We are charged, we must continue to identify any COVID-19 case very early and carry out contact tracing. We must continue to isolate and quarantine COVID-19 cases and the contacts of those cases.
In the region, for the first time since they were announced as youth champions for the Escazú Agreement, 5 youngsters from Latin America and the Caribbean collaborated to stage an exciting webinar dubbed The Importance of the Escazú Agreement for the Youth.
Youth of the Caribbean are taking on the challenge of an environmental agreement, and on Wednesday evening, the youth champions for the Escazú agents held a webinar from St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Chile. Nefresha Richardson, Escazú youth champion for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and others, prior to the webinar, issued a call for young people to participate in the conversation.
Hola a todos y a todas, somos los champions de Escazú y les tenemos una invitación muy especial.
Este próximo 1 de julio a las 5 p.m. hora de Chile haremos nuestro primer webinar juntos.
En este hablaremos sobre el papel de los jóvenes y las comunidades campesinas y étnicas en el Acuerdo de Escazú.
Y pueden conectarse con nosotros a través de Facebook, de la página de Principio 10 y a través de Zoom.
We are waiting for you. It is only if we work together that we will see a change in Latin America and the Caribbean. See you at the webinar.
We now go to sporting news. In sports this week, the Bahamas Football Association discussed its 2019-2020 partnership with the Scottish Football Association, in which they agreed to partner with the BFA in the areas of coaching education, advanced technical assistance, and assisting with the development of the BFA Center of Excellence.
A donation of equipment was presented to the Grand Bahama Football Association via the Bahamas Football Association on Thursday morning. Making the presentation was President of the Bahamas Football Association, Anton Seeley.
It gives the BFA, and me in particular, a great deal of joy to be able to just somehow assist in bringing some sort of normalcy to the young footballers here in Grand Bahama. In August of last year, actually in 2018, this really all began in Russia, where I met my counterparts from the Scottish FA, and we got together and struck up a conversation, and it led to a sort of partnership, them partnering with the BFA in ways in how they can assist us in our growth and development of football here in the country. We talked about and agreed a kind of a memorandum of association, a memorandum of understanding, whereby they would assist us in technical training, coaching and education, and other developmental strategies for our Center of Excellence. Before this agreement could be crystallized, however, Hurricane Dorian struck, and everything was put on hold necessarily because we had different and more important priorities. Today we are still being impacted by Dorian, and of course we have now COVID on top of that. So post-Dorian, though, the Scottish FA got in touch with us and wanted to know how they can assist the Federation in whatever manner they could. And we agreed that equipment would probably be our greatest need right now for both the footballers here in Grand Bahama and in Abaco. With that in mind, they directed us to UEFA, and they have a program called UEFA Assist. And under that program, I put the Deputy General Secretary who headed the Secretariat response. He was put in touch with the head of the International Relations of UEFA, National Association Division, and the agreement was solidified.
Also in sports this weekend, Fast Track Management is hosting a 5K virtual run. Here is Coach Ravano Ferguson with the details.
On July 4th, this upcoming Saturday, Fast Track Management will be hosting the 7th annual Glow Run. Now, the trick to this one is it's a virtual Glow Run, so you're actually able to participate in a 5K anywhere across the island. So we're going to encourage everybody to come out and participate in this year's Glow Run. As always, part proceeds is going towards the Grand Bahamas Children's Home Back to School program that we give them all the back to school supplies every year for the last 8 years. So we want to encourage everybody to come out. You virtually can register online via the Facebook page. The online registration, the link is open. So we encourage everybody over the next 2 days to come out and register and have fun with the 5K. We have all great giveaways from Bluetooth headsets to Bluetooth speakers, perfume sets, grocery vouchers. So we just want to encourage everybody to come out and support this year's Glow Run.
We now take you to our 7-day weather forecast. We now take you to the Flippin' Grand Bahama Money Minute.
If your expenses are so high that you can't save as much as you'd like, it might be time to cut back. Identify non-essentials that you can spend less on, such as entertainment and dining out. Look for ways to save on your fixed monthly expenses like television and your cell phone too. Here are some ideas for trimming everyday expenses. Use resources such as community event listings to find free or low-cost events to reduce entertainment spending. Cancel subscriptions and memberships you don't use, especially if they renew automatically. Commit to eating out only once a month and trying places that fall within the cheap eats category. Give yourself a cooling off period. When tempted by a non-essential purchase, wait a few days. You may be glad you passed or ready to save up for it.
That's all for this week for Flippin' Grand Bahama News. I'm Haley Adderley. Catch us again next week on flippingGB.com, on Facebook at Flippin' Grand Bahama, on YouTube at Flippin' Grand Bahama channel, or on Instagram on Media Unlimited Bahamas. Do like, share, and subscribe.